Hi everyone, this is Mike. Welcome to another episode of Merch Buzz. Today's topic is growing or expanding your business. Now, if we look at that topic on its own, we could really spend all day talking about how to grow your business. There's so many ways to do it. There's so many things to consider. For example, are we talking about products? Are we talking about marketing? Are we talking about social media specifically? Well, for today's purposes, what I want to talk about are three different things. Now, because of the nature of the business that I'm in and a lot of different listeners, we'll be talking about print on demand overall, but the topics that we'll cover actually apply to many other types of businesses, including drop shipping, or if you're somebody, for example, that's selling on Etsy and is making those products on their own. But again, like I said, a lot of things that I will mention will apply to print on demand. So if that's what you're into, stick around. The first way to do this to actually grow your business is to simply add more products. Now, why don't a lot of people think about that? It might be very simple of an idea, but to actually implement it, you have to consider a lot of different things. So let's say if you have a few bestsellers. So a lot of people that are in this type of business have about 5%, maybe 2 to 5% of products that are actually listed and live for sale that are making the majority of their sales. So usually it's about 80%. I believe that the ratio is about 20-80, but in reality it's about 5 to 10% of products that are making most of your sales. So when I'm saying list more products, what you want to do is you want to be strategic. Now, if you have a few designs that sell, that's where you would start. So what you want to do is, let's say if your number one seller is a t-shirt and you ask yourself, is this a unisex shirt? Is this a men's, women's? Start working with that. Maybe it's a t-shirt, but your design would actually work really well on a hoodie. It would really work well on a tank top. And those are the first steps that you take in actually adding those products. Now, I'm going to start sounding like a Printful fanboy here, but through Printful, you have about 160 plus products available for sale. Now, a lot of that is different types of clothing, a lot of different types of shirts, but basically that is what's going to help you with this. So, like I said, take your top selling designs and put them on other products. Now, be creative with this. So, for example, maybe the design that you have on a t-shirt would sell really well on a coffee mug. Maybe, for example, some of those designs would look really well on a skirt or socks, and that's something that you've never really considered. So the first way to grow your business is, like, again, in summary, very simple. It is to add more products, but they don't necessarily have to be new designs. They don't have to be even different products. They could be a different type of a t-shirt or different type of a hoodie if that's what you're already selling. The other type of growth, the other way to actually grow your business is to start advertising. Now, this will involve some money, and there are a lot of different ways to do this. Now, we'll mention and talk about some. For anybody that's on Merch by Amazon, you're already approved to advertise on Amazon through their own program. So what you want to do is you want to play around with different advertising profiles, different products, different keywords, different budgets, and see what works. The one thing that I have learned when it comes to actually advertising, and this doesn't matter if you're promoting through AMS, if you're promoting through Google, Facebook, whatever else, is that you need to play around with all different types of things, because sometimes even the image, for example, the color of the text that you have on your image will make a difference, because you don't really know what will be attracting those customers. So you really want to play around and try all kinds of different things until you actually figure out that the return on investment is increasing and higher and actually worth advertising. Now, some of the questions also that you want to ask yourself is, where are your target customers? Where's your target audience? Do you want to advertise directly on Amazon, or do you want to grow your social media presence and advertise on Facebook? Those are the types of questions that you want to ask yourself. And then in addition to that, you want to set a budget. And what I would say is, if you have a few spare bucks, you probably want to invest that money and like I said, play around, because if you say to yourself, you know what, I'm going to spend $1 or $2 a day, you really won't get those results that you're looking for, especially on the analytical side, because you won't be able to look at the statistics very closely, because they won't be so detailed, and you won't get a lot of information. So what I would say is, put some money aside and actually spend some money on advertising. Now, continuing on that topic, like I said, if you're talking about advertising, you can advertise on Amazon directly. If you're selling on Etsy, this doesn't matter if you're selling through Printful or your own products. There's an integration where you can actually spend money directly on Etsy, or you can spend money through Etsy and advertise on Google through Google Ads. You can also do that separately. Never underestimate Facebook, especially for ads. If you are really good with things like I mentioned earlier, analytics, and actually looking at some of the data that's coming from the ads that you're already running, Facebook can be very, very profitable. There are a number of videos on YouTube where you can actually follow those instructions step by step, and you'll see the best ways to advertise on Facebook. If you're saying, you know what, I've been getting a lot of activity on Pinterest. People are pinning and repinning your products. There's some activity there. Take advantage of that. You can also run ads on Pinterest. And again, it all depends how much money you have to spend, how much, let's say, spare money you have. But Pinterest can generate sales. Pinterest can actually generate a lot of sales. The other thing that I want to mention is Instagram. Now, of course, Instagram is tied to Facebook. Any ads that you run on Facebook, you will have the option to run on Instagram. And if you specifically want to run them on Instagram, you still have to do it through your Facebook profile. Now, the next one is Twitter. And if you're thinking, what are you talking about? How can you actually advertise products on Twitter? Well, you can generate sales, and it's another huge platform, and it all depends on the type of money you want to spend. And then also it goes back to the same type of things that I mentioned earlier, which is basically how good are you with targeting specific people, specific customers? Are you going to be looking at keywords? Are you going to be looking at locations? And all that will depend on for example, the products that you have, and not only the type of products, but the type of design as well. The last thing that I want to discuss quickly are influencers. Now, there are, again, many different people and types of people that you can approach. If you, and again, this is something that I would look at your product and the type of people that you're trying to advertise to, and then figure out what's the best platform. So maybe you have a perfect product that you want to ship to somebody who can promote it on Instagram, or you can actually say to yourself, you know what, this would actually be perfect for somebody on YouTube. Maybe there's a channel that you like to watch, and maybe it actually fits in with the perfect customer base or the viewer base of that channel or that personality that you like to follow. So basically what you can do is reach out to that person, send them a product, and then even offer some money depending on their popularity, depending on their reach. They might already have some kind of a payment structure in place that they offer. Now, the next way to grow your business is to list your best-selling products on different platforms. Now, this is similar to basically adding more products, because you will have more products for sale in total. But what you're doing, and in this case specifically, is you want to take your best-selling products. Now, a lot of people have, for example, one or two designs or one or two products that really take off. And then let's say if somebody has 100 products listed for sale, and just for an example, on Etsy, let's say, like I said, one or two are probably best sellers, and let's say you have up to 5 or 10 that are selling sometimes. So the other 90 are not very active. You might get a 1 or 2 sale each month, but again, those are very, very low selling products. So what you want to do is take your best selling product, or maybe even that just 1 or 2 or 3, and list them on other stores, on other platforms. So for example, if you're selling on Etsy, maybe you want to expand to eBay and offer, let's say, 5 or 10 products to your eBay customers. Maybe you want to do the same thing and start selling on Amazon. There's a new integration through Printful for Wish.com. Now this is not a new app, this is not a new website, Wish.com, but it is new for anybody who's using Printful. So basically what that means is there's a lot of opportunity to get ahead of the game and actually start offering your products, especially if you have some of the best sellers or high sellers on other platforms. You can offer it on Wish. Now, the other thing that you can do is you can open up your own store. So maybe you've only started selling on Etsy or eBay or Amazon, and now you're saying, you know what, it's actually time to get my own website, get your own store. So that could be through Shopify or any of the other platforms. But again, it will be another channel on which you can sell. And then if you're going back to the second way to grow your store, which is advertising, then you can send customers directly to your website, which will hopefully offer, more than just a few products. The other things that I wanted to mention quickly are things that don't, or platforms that don't cost any money. And these are such websites as Inktail, Redbubble, Society6. There are many others, I think Zazzle. These are websites, again, it's all part of the print-on-demand business where it doesn't cost anything except your time. So what you can do, again, is if you're thinking about these different platforms, you want to take your best designs, you want to list them on those websites, but keep in mind that each one of these websites, and let's take Redbubble for example, even though you're uploading one design, it is going up on 20 to 30 different products, which each of those has maybe 5 to 10 to 20 different colors. So in reality, now that you've listed or uploaded one design, it will be offered on 50 to 60 unique products. And even though it's, let's say, 5 to 10 to 20 different types of products, when you introduce size and color, we're talking about hundreds. Those platforms are very profitable, and like I said, besides your time, there are no other costs. So you can even spend time listing on those websites, but then spend money advertising and driving traffic to your products on those websites, which again, there's no external other costs, for example, that you would have with your own store, or even something like Etsy or eBay. So, in summary, like I said at the beginning, there are probably 1,000 different ways you can grow your business, you can grow your store. When it comes to print on demand, the key players are, of course, Merch by Amazon, Printful, and again, I definitely want to put a lot of emphasis on Printful because I think it's a great platform. If you've done any research or thought about opening a store, starting your business in general, or you're looking for that very, very best print on demand service, look into Printful, and I'll include a link below. Amazon, eBay, all these different stores. Add more products. This will mean, again, that you might have to spend some time designing. Maybe you're somebody who doesn't have any design skills, and you're saying, you know what, it's actually worth it for me if I purchase designs, and that's also fine. I'm going to include another link down below for Fiverr. What you can do is you can get in touch with professional designers through this website, and you can purchase 1 or 100 designs or 1,000 and start listing them on your products. Advertise. I still believe that advertising is exceptional, is incredible if you do it right. I know of people that through advertising, and sometimes they're going to be very specific, through Facebook advertising, will earn thousands of dollars in profits from, for example, running 1 or 2 ads, because they have perfected it. They have perfected and narrowed down the customers and the direct targeting to the point where for every dollar they will earn $2 to $3 to $4. So, for example, somebody in that situation doesn't mind spending $1,000 on ads if they know that they will get $5,000 in profits, which sometimes would mean $20,000 to $30,000 in sales, and so on. And then the other thing that just before wrapping up I want to mention is never underestimate your best-selling products and your best-selling designs, because if you have one design that sells really well, do not leave it on just one type of product. Like I said, just through Printful alone, you're able to put the same design on 160 different products. Now, if we're talking about that same design and Printful, and then we add a platform like Redbubble, now you've added 20 or 30 different products. If we put it now on Teespring or Society6, we've added 10 to 20 more products. So there's opportunity there. A lot of this, I would say, definitely takes time. It definitely takes some money, but if you really perfect it, if you, I don't want to say practice, but if you learn, and I'm specifically talking about advertising and marketing, if you play around and really narrow down your basically customer base and targeting of your customers, you will be very, very successful. I'm going to leave some links down below that I believe could be helpful. If you have any other questions, any information that you would like to share, leave a comment down below. We'll get this discussion going, and as always, thank you for listening.